The Knicks take on the Milwaukee Bucks tonight in an in-season tournament matchup, and the winner goes to Vegas. Now, there's a lot of key factors to this matchup, but the bench is going to be one of the biggest ones. And the Knicks have one of the best big men in the NBA on their bench, in Isaiah Hartenstein. And I'm not the only one that thinks so. There's many NBA sources and insiders that believe the same and also think that Hartenstein is the best NBA big off the bench. And with Robinson and Hartenstein, the Knicks may just give themselves a chance to go to Vegas. We're going to break down Hartenstein's value and why he means so much to this Knicks team. All of this and so much more today. So be sure you're subscribed to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Hartenstein is the best backup big in the NBA. You heard that right. The Knicks arguably have the best starting big and backup big in terms of offensive rebounding in the NBA. Defensively, they're also a very good duo as well too. Imagine this. Hartenstein likely could start on some NBA teams right now. Yet, he's coming off the bench for the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson is one of the most dominant defensive centers in the NBA. The Knicks have both of them, and they interchange them. You can make an argument they should likely play them both together depending on the matchup, but Tom Thibodeau, in his ways, plays them separately, one off the bench and one starting. Either way, though, it's hard to argue that it's worked. Tom Thibodeau, whatever you want to say, coaching, adjustments, everything like that, doing what he's done with Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson has made it work and has made them both look extremely good. And there's no denying it now. And thanks to the New York Post Steph Bondy, he actually reports the following as well too, where he also considers that Hartenstein is one of the best backup bigs in the entire NBA. Despite averages of 5.7 points and 4.9 rebounds per game this season, that would normally prompt you to dismiss the player. Hartenstein is now fully in the conversation for the NBA's best backup center. This is what Hartenstein said about the matter. I feel like I am. I feel like it's between me, Minnesota's Naz Reid, and probably Atlanta's Okongwu. Probably us three. I feel like I bring a lot to the game, even when it doesn't show in the stats. I think the victory over the Heat on Friday really showed it. I don't think my stats were great, but I feel like I can impact the game without scoring. I feel like definitely one of the best backup bigs in the NBA. No lies detected from Isaiah Hartenstein there. I absolutely agree with them 100%. If you look around the league and you consider the competition, it's hard to argue that Isaiah Hartenstein is not one of the best backup bigs to come off the bench in the entire NBA. When Hartenstein mentions here that it's between Naz Reid and Okongwu from Atlanta, I absolutely think that was spot on. That was real. Because that's the number of people that I would include with Isaiah Hartenstein right now in terms of who would be leading that race. All three of them deserve a name inside that race. Naz Reid is going off with Minnesota, is one of the reasons why Minnesota looks so good. Isaiah Hartenstein and his impact cannot be understated. And I know what the Atlanta Hawks is doing right now is a little bit off the radar, but they're playing extremely well. And what Okongwu is doing for the Atlanta Hawks is absolutely impressive. He could probably start for a lot of teams right now in the NBA, but he's coming off the bench for the Hawks. Again, all of these bigs probably could start for another team in the NBA, but when they come off of the bench for a team already that has another center that you could arguably say is better than them, it just makes the dynamic of the team so much more impactful. Mitchell Robinson starts for the Knicks, and then you have Isaiah Hartenstein coming off of the bench. The impact has just been extraordinary because you don't lose any of the defense, you don't lose any of the rebounding, and you gain passing, you gain some playmaking, and he can score. What is there not to like about Isaiah Hartenstein? And the funny part is, when Hartenstein first joined the Knicks, it wasn't like that. He was playing a different type of game that didn't complement the Knicks and what they needed. Shout out to SNY for actually highlighting this again for us so we can talk about it. Because according to Ian Bagley, he actually stated here that Hartenstein's Knicks career began shakily, like we just told you, as he looked awkward in the offensive scheme and tentative on both ends around the rim. However, it quickly clicked on how he would excel in Tom Thibodeau's system by doing the dirty work. He completely bought into the rim protecting, rebound chasing, 5-roll Thibs needs out of his centers, and it made him a force. Hartenstein finished 6th in offensive rebounding rate last season, averaging 9 points and 11.9 rebounds per 36 minutes on 53.5% shooting. When Hartenstein came from the Clippers, he was passing a lot, he was scoring a lot, he was taking some threes. But when he came to the Knicks didn't really need that. What they needed was basically another Mitchell Robinson off the bench. But if you could add a little bit of passing, you could add a little bit of scoring, better in terms of offense, then absolutely Tom Thibodeau would welcome that. And that's exactly what they got from Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, did they get it right away? No. And obviously, you're not going to get that from any new player right away. It takes some time to click, especially when your game is different than what the coach is asking you to do. He had to adjust his game, and his game was definitely not like this when he was with the Clippers. But he adjusted, he learned, he got better, and now he's one of the best backup bigs off the bench. His game fits Tom Thibodeau's system. It fits what the New York Knicks needs. It doesn't show up on the box sheet, but it doesn't have to. Because if you're a Knicks fan and you're watching the games like I am, then you are seeing Isaiah Hartenstein's impact. You're seeing what he can do for this Knicks team. And honestly, if you're looking at the numbers, oftentimes when he's on the floor, the Knicks are better sometimes defensively than they are when Mitch is on the floor. Check out these numbers. Shout out to the New York Post Steph Bondy for reporting the following. The Knicks have actually been better defensively with Hartenstein on the court, allowing 104.5 points per 100 possessions compared to Robinson's 110.4 points. Now, Bondy does tell us that this is more likely a result of who the two share time with, but it still emphasizes the lack of drop-off between the centers. The numbers show it. The eye test show it. If you watch these games, Isaiah Hartenstein, his defense, his impact, his passing, the playmaking, the scoring, the floaters, the running the court, jumping to the rim and dunking it on people, all of those moves that he does helps the Knicks. It makes him a threat. It makes defenses have to look at him, collapse on him, and take him seriously. That opens up the floor for everybody else. It allows the other people that you have who are more paint attackers to attack the paint more freely, more easily. And though, by the way, Isaiah Hartenstein blocks shots. He gives you everything you need right now as a center. He has been phenomenal for this Knicks team, fits exactly what they need. He started off this year exactly how you wanted him to. Basically in continuation of what he did last year. And it's been a sight to see. Him and Robinson is a great duo to watch. I don't think you can find a better offensive rebounding tandem in the game than Mitchell Robinson and then Isaiah Hartenstein. So it's absolutely abundantly clear that Isaiah Hartenstein and the Knicks fit. They work and they fit together. A lot of people even now are saying that they wouldn't even want to trade Isaiah Hartenstein in any deal because of his impact off the bench. So because of all these reasons, the question definitely has to come up. Will the Knicks re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein, and when do they even have to think about doing so? Shout out to SNY's Ian Bagley for giving us this information. New York will want to retain that advantage they have and will have to re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein this summer to do so. His contract expires this season, setting him up for unrestricted free agency and perhaps enough of a bidding war for the Knicks to bow out. There are teams that could conceivably offer Hartenstein the starting position with starter pay, two things the Knicks can't match. If there aren't, New York could be a better position to keep their man. Shout out to Ian Bagley for giving us that update. As we just heard, his contract is up after this season. So that means he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. The Knicks are definitely going to have to make a decision on whether or not they want to bring him back. And if they do, how much they're willing to pay him. As Ian Bagley stated, he could have a lot of potential buyers because he is seen potentially as a starter around the league by other teams. And if that's the case, some teams may pay him starter money and start him. If he's going to get that role and that money, it's going to be hard to turn down and he may walk away from the Knicks. But if no other team does that, the Knicks might be safe to Ian Bagley's point there and might be able to get their big man back. But if other teams look at him to add him, or look to add him for more money, the Knicks could be out on Isaiah Hartenstein. It's unfortunate because, again, I love the impact that he gives, but it is a business at the end of the day, and it's going to be very interesting to see what the Knicks do with him and Emmanuel quickly. They have a lot of mouths to feed. A lot of these players show impact for the Knicks, and they bring a lot to the table. Going to be very, very interesting to see what the Knicks do come this offseason. But as of right now, the Knicks don't have to worry about the offseason. They have to worry about the roster they have, the team they have, and the games ahead. And one of the games ahead, tonight's game, may be one of the biggest and best games I can remember thinking about in December, when the Knicks take on the Bucks in the in-season tournament matchup that tells you, that will define who is better right now and also who's going to Vegas. And for me, I pray and hope that is the New York Knicks. But what about you guys? What do you think about this entire situation with Isaiah Hartenstein? Do you think the New York Knicks will end up re-signing him? And what do you think about his impact? In your opinion, is he the best backup big in the entire NBA? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. That's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.